everybody, it's been a while, and I've got an adventure for you. We're going to be going out west, and we're going to be seeing some of the most beautiful country that this great nation has to offer. We're going west, and the first stop that I have on is going to Jackson, Wyoming. Yeah, Jackson Hole. The second drop that I have is going to be going over the hill into the Great Salt Lake Basin, Salt Lake City. It's mid-March. Any weather pattern could happen. We could have 70 degrees and sunny. We could have 20 below and blizzard. I have no idea. Weather looks pretty good. So I'm bringing you guys along for this adventure. I don't know what we're going to hit. Thanks for coming along. Welcome back to Truckin' Outdoors. Now, I have already loaded this load. I've got two partials on. A partial is when somebody has to ship something small. They don't necessarily want to pay for the entire trailer. Well, I've got two partials on. That's paying for an entire truckload. I've got these heat exchangers here. There's two of them. These heat exchangers are what's going out to Salt Lake City. And then another half a load to take these logs out to Jackson, Wyoming. I think what it is that these are they're specialty posts. They're going to be made into fence posts or, you know, some sort of decorative post. You know, it's Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Yeah, there's some rich people out there. So they're trucking in this special wood that doesn't grow out there. Only comes, I guess it's just coming from Wisconsin. So, hey, whatever. And then you see, I've got half a trailer left of empty space. There's a possibility that we could make even a little bit more money on this load. I call it gravy. Let's hope that happens. But for right now, we got to get headed west. Minnesota? Come on. 4 roundabouts in a row on a truck route, the only truck route through town? Come on. Oh, come on! Sterling ate before we left, so I think before we hit the highway, I might see if he needs to go use the potty real quick. Because we got a long way to go that way. Might as well get some energy out of him. Good morning. Well, we made it to Rapid City last night. Everything went well. Boy, it is chilly this morning. I think it's in the teens. But at least the wind died down. So, on my way into the truck stop here to get ready for the day, brush teeth, get some coffee, and then we'll head out. Got a couple hour, took my full 10-hour mandatory sleeper berth rest break last night. So I feel good and refreshed today. Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot more of this as I travel around the country. You see that camper there? That one there especially. Here's one here. And then a few more over here. And what they're doing is it's basically just squatting, leaving their campers parked here because nobody bothers them, and that's just where they live. And it's sad. Starting to see it a lot more, especially out west, because most places have more lenient rules and laws regarding camping and on public areas, public streets. It's getting to be kind of dirty out here. Lots of people homeless, just living in campers. It's sad. It's really sad. Well, I was doing my walk around on my pre-trip, and I noticed I got a little coolant on the ground. So I'm looking, and this right up here is a little bit wet. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. It's not leaking bad. We're still full of coolant, so we're fine. It's just a hose clamp that's wearing out, or nothing major. So just keep that in the back of our heads.
Safety third.
All right. Well, pre-trip is done. Took the dog out, let him go run around and do his thing. Fed him, right? Yeah. Are you ready to go? So, today, starting out in Rapid City, South Dakota. We are going to be into Jackson. We're about 545 miles away, which is about a 9-hour trip. If we hustle, we could get this first stop off, and then continue on towards Salt Lake. But I'll tell you, today is going to be new territory for me. Our route's going to take us through Casper, Wyoming, and then Highway 26 up and over the Continental Divide, south of the Yellowstone National Park, and down into Jackson. I've never been that way. This is going to be new territory for me. I don't know what to expect. I came through near here a couple weeks ago, and there's all kinds of snow, upper elevation. So 2-lane highway from here on out. Let's do it. Well, I just got off the phone with the guy in Jackson, Wyoming, where we're going to be making our first delivery. Good news, bad news. All right, good news. The weather there is beautiful. He said Bluebird Day, it's gorgeous. Should have pretty clean roads. However, up over the Continental Divide, you just never know. A squall could kick up out of nowhere. Bad news is, well, not so much bad news. We gotta hurry. GPS is showing that we got an arrival time of about 3:30. We got to be there by 4. We're going to have slowdowns in the mountains, and we got to get fuel in Casper. So hopefully we make it. If we can make it to Jackson tonight, we will be sitting good to make our delivery in Salt Lake first thing tomorrow morning, and then get picked up in the Boise area to make it back home by Thursday. That's the goal. Let's go! I'm in Lusk, Wyoming, about to pull into the port of entry, so I gotta get going. But I've already made contact with Bison, and I'll be empty. I'll have it delivered this afternoon. Yep. Wyoming makes you bring in your paperwork, and they gotta check your, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've gone in and gotten checked. But I gotta bring my paperwork in. It's usually no big deal, so. You wait here, buddy. I'll be right back.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, well, just as I suspected, we're all good to go. Just a paper check. Just to make sure we got registration and IFTA. And look, even Sterling got a treat. Yes. They're really nice here in Lusk. They always have been, you know. Just doing the jobs. Welcome to Casper. We're making good time. Just got to put some fuel in because there ain't going to be too many fuel stops after this. This is where it turns 2-lane highway, Highway 26, over the Continental Divide. While we're fueling here, we're going to do a little load check. Yep, it's still there. That sun feels so good. Wind's starting to kick up though. That's kind of making it a little annoying out there. But it's gonna be a nice day. Hopefully it stays nice up through the mountains. Sounds like it should. Once I'm done fueling, I'm gonna do a quick check and see how far out we are and how much I need to hammer down, because I gotta get this off tonight. We're gonna be hustling to get there. From here, we're going off into the great unknown. Terra Incognito. No. Terra Incognita. Yeah. Terra Incognita. Look, the only clouds in the sky are chemtrails. So one of the reasons why I'm excited to go on this route that I'm going on today is I read the book, Jim Bridger, Trailblazer of the American West. Obviously, it's biography about Jim Bridger. Super interesting life story. I mean, the guy comes out with a out west in 1820 to 1821 on a beaver trapping brigade, and he's active in the Mountain West, primarily right here in Wyoming and this area of Wyoming. He's active from 1821 out here all the way up into the 1860s. 40 years on the American frontier. I mean, that was back when it was open warfare with the Indians, and, you know, surviving winters up here. I mean, you come out west, especially in this area, there's all kinds of stuff named after him. There's Bridger Creeks and Bridger Mountains, Bridger Teton National Forest, Fort Bridger in southwestern Wyoming. I mean, the guy was everywhere out here. He was the first, I guess, European American of European descent, whatever. First white guy to venture into Yellowstone National Park and see the lava parts and bring those stories out. He was the first one down into the Salt Lake Basin, and he discovered the Great Salt Lake. He discovered what's called South Pass. It's now where I-80 runs in southern Wyoming. Oh, the Bridger Trail on the west side of the Bighorns that goes up to Bozeman, up to Billings. Yep, he blazed that trail. He guided armies. He guided mapping and discovery type expeditions. I mean, the guy did it all. Super interesting. He's the father, the grandfather, or whatever you want to say, He's the original mountain man. I mean, it's just a super interesting life. Great book. If you ever get a chance and you're interested in Western history, read Jim Bridger, Trailblazer of the American West. It's excellent. Excellent. Oh, and pro tip, have your Google map open and look up the places where he's at when they say a location. Welcome to Jackson, Wyoming. These guys are pretty quick. It's about quitting time, so we already got the logs unloaded. But look at this view. So next stop, we're going to be going down. We're going to continue on US Highway 26, and then get over to Idaho Falls, and that's where we're going to have to shut down for the day. We'll get these air exchangers, these heat exchangers delivered tomorrow, and then hopefully we can get something coming back to Minnesota. Woo! Well, I tell you, Jackson, Wyoming is not a place you want to come with a semi-truck. I've been in tighter spots, but I can't remember any right now. We're going to head south, out of town. I got two routes to choose from. I can stay on US Highway. No, you come on. Oh, okay. You stay on US Highway 26. That'll take me then to Idaho Falls. I'll be kind of going a little bit more further north and then south. Or I can stay on US Highway 89. But there's quite a few poles and a lot of mountains. Yep. I think that's where I'm going to go. I can't be in Salt Lake until tomorrow anyway, so yep. We're going south on 89.
Shake hands with danger.
If I can get out of town. Well, we finally made it mostly out of the mountains last night. I'm not exactly sure where we are. We're somewhere in northern Utah. Got a couple hour drive down towards the St. Louis area to get empty today. But we'll be able to get empty and then we got to find a load out of here. I'm assuming we're going to go to Boise to get beans back to Minnesota, but I don't have anything for sure yet. Let's hope we don't get stuck. But anyway, yesterday was a long day. But we're going to get up and get rolling. Sterling needs to go out. He's taking a look at the grass. Needs to go over there. So, all right, let's get our day moving, shall we? I'm doing my pre-trip, and I figure I better check to see how our little coolant leak is doing. Coolant level looks good, and no coolant on the ground. See, that's why you don't panic. You see a little coolant on the ground or something like that, you know, unless it's gushing out. If it's not gushing, just dripping, you know, see what happens. You never know. Sometimes they heal themselves. It was really cold yesterday morning, so might have just been from the cold weather, shrunk up a little bit too much. It is indication that the clamp and that hose is probably and that little splice there is probably wearing out. But you know, it's not an emergency. So, all right, off to get finally unloaded, and then see what we can do about getting back east. Here we go. Made it to our delivery just outside of Salt Lake. Check this out. Sun's coming up over the mountains. It's gonna be another beautiful day. Let's get empty and hopefully we can find a load to get back home. I love it out here, but I wanna go home. How's it going?
What's going on? Did you call me yesterday?
It must have been you, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dave. Nice to meet you.
Jordan.
Nice to meet you. Little guys.
You got you some Mountain Dew in there.
Oh,
Keep
yeah.
it cold.
That's my refrigerator.
Sweet trailer.
Thanks. All right, we're empty. Now, I gotta try and get out of this yard, and we're gonna try and make it back to a truck stop 15 minutes north of here. And on the way, I'm gonna give dispatch a call. Hopefully they got something for us. If not, the waiting game.
Eventually.
Well, bad news. The loads that have been going to Minnesota have been put on hold.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The only option I have right now is to come out of the Boise area, going to Delaware. Yeah, Delaware, as in East Coast.
This is the worst.
2,500 miles away. I mean, we got good freight coming out of Delaware, but boy, I'd be hustling to even make it there by Friday. So, I don't know. We're going to wait and see what happens and, you know, give it a couple hours, I guess. No harm in that. And but look, they got a Denny's here. I'm gonna go get some breakfast.
This is fine. Things are gonna be okay.
Check back in a couple hours. Hey, and it's a beautiful day.
A lot of boring math later.
Well, I just got off the phone with dispatch. The load that they got for me by itself is awesome. Picking up right here in Salt Lake City, going up to Belgrade, Montana, which is central Montana over by Bozeman, and it's paying a really good rate. The problem is, then I'm in Belgrade, Montana for tomorrow. There's not a whole lot coming out. We get some stuff every once in a while. However, it's pretty hit and miss, and especially in today's economy, today's freight market, I don't know. It's a gamble. But my only other option would be to go to Idaho, grab bean seed, going out to Delaware. And then I would be guaranteed this would be the only money I'd make for the week, and I'd have to be in Delaware by next week. We're taking a gamble. We're going to go from Salt Lake to Belgrade, Montana. Pick up today, be up there, deliver it first thing tomorrow morning. It'll be a quick money maker for us, and then we'll readjust from there.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Well, we're here getting the load, and I'll tell you what, the big benefit that we got from COVID was all of these brand new warehouses. Man, they are going up so fast everywhere. It's unbelievable. It's the only good thing to come out of COVID. One thing about this load is we're going to be picking up 46,000 pounds. Now, when my axles are together like this, I can only hold 34,000 pounds when they're together. When they're apart, I can go up to 40,000 pounds. This load that I'm picking up is 46,000 pounds. That's pretty close to my max, so I'm gonna spread these axles out and then load it a little bit heavier to the back just to be on the safe side. There is only one scale between here and Belgrade, Montana. Problem is, when I came past there this morning, they were open and they were working hard. So they're pulling everybody in. I don't want to take a chance. So just before I spread them, I'm going to put a little WD on there and make sure they spread nice and easy.
That's what she said.
There we go. That's what happens when you don't slide your axles all the time. They get a little bound up, so you just gotta, pop it a little bit. That's why I put WD on there. All right, let's get loaded. It is 411 miles from where I'm at in Salt Lake City up to Belgrade, Montana. We're going to be making our way up US Highway 20 to West Yellowstone, Montana, and then from there, US 191. We're going to skirt 6 miles the edge of inside of Yellowstone National Park and then follow the Gallatin River right down into Belgrade. Let's get going. Idaho. Now, this is pretty much the last jumping off point before you get up cross country going up into the mountains and up through Yellowstone Park. So I like to stop here if I need to get something to eat or some fuel. I like to do it here. But if we got time, which I do have time today, I like to stop here because not only do you get something to eat, but right across the street is this place. Idaho's largest Army surplus store. It's a man mall. We're going inside.
Yes! That's awesome!
Would take 3 days to get through it. I might have to come back here and just like spend an entire weekend. Seriously. It's a good thing I got a semi truck to haul everything back. Seriously, this place goes on forever. You know, the problem with a place like this is you really don't know what you need until you find it. So you got to look at everything first. Because otherwise, how do you know if you need it if you don't look at it? So I've been looking for a modern day Alice pack like this. They make really great hunting packs. Lightweight plastic frame. Obviously durable. This one's been used pretty good. Batista? Looks like the name on here is Batista. Could be. But got some markings on it. And check this out. It's only $60 for this. I'm thinking that's gonna be my next hunting pack. And now you know what? I put it on my back, and now whatever I find, I can put in the backpack. Win-win. Check this out. These are horse collars. What are these? Look at that. If this is Army surplus, it's Army surplus from the Civil War. That's pretty cool. Well, that was definitely worth the trip. I'm gonna go back to the truck. Let Sterling run around for a minute, go grab something to eat, and then we're gonna get on the road, and we're going cross country, up through the mountains, up through Yellowstone National Park. Stay tuned. Well, we just lost the 4-lane highway, so 2-track. From here on all the way up to Belgrade. You know, I knew I had a couple of hours to spend at the Army surplus store, but I didn't want to stay there too long, because I'll tell you, I've come through the park, I've come through this route at night a few times. Yeah, it's not a place, it's not a route you want to be on at night. You know, sheep and deer, they'll kind of bounce off the bumper. Elk and bison, yeah, they'll leave a dent. Yeah, not good. So, hopefully we can see them during the daylight. here 2 weeks ago, and these roads completely ice covered. They're like packed snow that has turned to ice, completely covered. So kind of nice to see that the road is dry now. And there's no sign for the Continental Divide on this highway, but I'm pretty sure that summit back there where we crossed into Montana, I'm pretty sure that was the Continental Divide. But the river I just crossed back there was the South Fork of the Madison River. When we come into West Yellowstone, we're going to pick up the Gallatin River, and then that's going to take us all the way down into the Bozeman Valley. The Gallatin River is one of 3 rivers that makes up the headwaters of the Missouri River. The 3 rivers that make up the Missouri are the Gallatin River, the Jefferson River, and the Madison River. And those 3 rivers come together just outside of Three Forks, Montana. And that's where the headwaters of the Missouri River are. Fun fact, now you know. No bison again. No, we didn't see any. They lied to us again. I don't think they're even here. Now, if you're like me and you remember the big forest fire back in the early 90s, this is the area that burned. There's some more burn area right there. See it better. So you look at that hillside in contrast with that hillside, you can see how young that forest is. I mean, you can still see burned up trees. But it may take a while, it'll come back. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Belgrade, Montana. Made it through the canyon last night. Pretty uneventful. So it's about 10 minutes to 7, and they start unloading at 7 o'clock. So a couple minutes, I'll be heading in, and we'll be getting empty, and I guess see where our next adventure takes us. Hopefully home, right, Sterling? Yeah. Do you miss Mommy and the girls? Sterling, are you pouting? Oh, I know. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get towards home. Yeah. Well, the sun's coming up over the mountains, and the steel's coming off the trailer. It's gonna be a good day. Trailer's empty. Paperwork signed. I'm just gonna close up, give dispatch a call, and probably head back to the truck stop. I'll be back with you as soon as I know something. You know, that's the way it is with trucking. You never know what you're gonna end up with until you're actually on the way.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Well, we're headed back to Idaho. Just got off the phone with dispatch. They do have a bean seed load now today coming back to Minnesota. I gotta go back to Idaho, and then come back. So we're just gonna be going back and forth up and over the Continental Divide. You know, no big deal. It's only March. You know, weather's changing. I did listen to the weather radio this morning. Yeah, 40 mile an hour winds and snow for tomorrow up here in Montana. So that's always gonna be fun. We'll be fine. Not like I don't have chains with me. I mean, we'll just throw some iron, lock the hubs in, throw her in 4-wheel steel or 8-wheel steel. Away we go. we're gonna be going down to right near Twin Falls, Idaho, which is 6 hours away. So I gotta hustle if I wanna get loaded yet today. And I do. I wanna get loaded yet today. Because then I can at least make it back up towards, I don't know, towards West Yellowstone. Make it as far as we can come on the way back. But, so that's the plan. Belgrade, Montana to Twin Falls, Idaho. 6 hour drive. Let's rock and roll. Well, that was fast. Too fast to film, actually. We had a 1 p.m. loading appointment. That was never gonna happen. Called ahead, talked to them. These guys are awesome. They said, hey, I said, yeah, I'll be there about 3:30. Is that okay? Absolutely. So they try to get out of here at 4. So I backed in and we whipped these totes on in record time. I'm still trying to catch my breath. But we got it all done. So now I can head out and finish out my clock. I got about 5 hours of driving that I can legally do tonight. And of course, that's all the hours that I'm gonna drive tonight. So what am I hauling? This is 46,000 pounds of magic beans. No, not magic mushrooms, magic beans. These look like dark red kidney beans. These are bean seeds. So each one of these beans planted in the ground will turn into, I don't know, 50 other beans. This might be 46,000 pounds right now. Next fall, it'll be 5 times that. So we'll make sure we put these beans back. We don't want to waste. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. And my trailer has lost its refrigeration properties. It's about 75 degrees air temp inside that trailer. Probably $1.10, $1.15. It's not good. I can tell you what, I'm making a wardrobe change right now. No, you can't watch. Oh yeah, much better. Instead of going the interstate back up to Idaho Falls, we're gonna go north up to the mountains, and we're gonna cut along the bottom side of the mountains through a place called Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve. I've been through there one time and it was covered in about, I don't know, 5 feet of snow. It should be, I guess, a little more visible. From what I saw, it was pretty cool. And it's honestly maybe just a couple of miles, just a few miles out of route. It's not that far. And we've got the time to do it. So, and the daylight. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is kind of what southern Idaho looks like. The ground is all undulated like this. and you can see rock underneath. And what that comes from is lava. I mean, it's basically, it's like a lava lake was bubbling up and then just cooled off and just froze like that. All the rocks are sticking out here and there, and it's very smooth and kind of rolling, but jagged at the same time. The rocks are exposed. It's a really interesting place. I have never seen anything like it. So, in all of my travels, this is the only place that I've seen with this type of lava rock formation. I highly recommend coming out here. Alright, so here we are at Craters of the Moon, and I'm just barely getting here while the sun is just going down over the mountains here. And I figured out what I was trying to describe it as. If you picture a simmering pot of spaghetti sauce, and it's all bubbling real slow like that, and then all of a sudden it just flash freezes. That's basically what this area is like. It was just this big turmoil of lava, and it just cooled like this. It's just crazy. It kind of looks like you're on a construction site, where there's just piles of dirt. No, that was just the way it cooled. I was hoping to get up on top of that little rock right there, but no, too much snow down there. Went up to my knee. So I did bring back up some rocks to show you guys. Look at that. Lava rocks. That's what this entire area is made out of. Is all these lava rocks. I'm no geologist, but this is pretty cool. I don't know what it is. It's just cool. Craters of the Moon National Monument. Definitely worth a scenic tour. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to day... I don't know. What day is it? Is it Thursday? I don't know. Day 5? 4? I didn't quite make it as far as I wanted to last night. Got a little later than I expected. So I'm not quite to West Yellowstone. But I figured, if I got to park on the side of the road in West Yellowstone, I might as well stop short and stay right on the Continental Divide. Yep. That's right. This is the border of Montana and Idaho. And I'm parked on a little turnout right here. And yes, this is the Continental Divide that I'm standing on. And it is in the middle of nowhere. And unless you've been in the middle of nowhere out in the mountains like this, boy, you don't know what peace and quiet really is. But it's still a major highway, so there's still cars and trucks that come through here. Actually, more often than I thought. But in between the trucks and cars, it's pretty awesome. See? But there's no services. There's no bathroom. There's no coffee machine. So I got to make all those myself. And, being on the Continental Divide, take a leak in the morning, it could end up in either ocean. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna get teeth brushed, coffee made. We're gonna get on the road. These little things right here have saved me a ton of money out on the road. Folgers coffee singles. Basically coffee in a tea bag. You just drop it into hot water and it makes the best coffee. Trucking's like high-speed camping. All right, let's head towards Minnesota. And I don't know if you noticed when we were outside talking earlier, but we lost our bluebird skies. We now have clouds, and today could get interesting. It could be a long day. I don't have enough service to check the weather and the radar right now, but I know it's snowing over in North Dakota. And it's supposed to be snowing in Minnesota too. It's moving that way. So I'm gonna have to do a weather check as soon as I get to, I guess, internet service. got this. We made it. We're down in the truck stop in Bozeman, and it was quite a ride. I'm gonna let the dog out, probably change the skivvies, and make a plan. There's one big mountain pass east of here. If it's snowing like that up on that pass, which I suspect it is, there might be change required, or at worst, they might have it shut down. Come on. So this is exactly why I stopped bringing Sterling with me, usually during the winter time. Here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get all wet and messy doing dog things, and that's fine. The problem is, as soon as he gets back in the truck, the first thing he's gonna do is go lay on my pillow. But he's cute. One thing you gotta watch out for when you come into those heavy snows like that is snow on your radiator. Kind of like this. And what happens is that snow will plug up all of the air passages and it make it so your engine can't cool. Now usually the fan can keep up with it and keep it cool, keep it from overheating. However, it puts more stress on the engine, especially when you're in mountain driving. So you always want to make sure that you're checking to see that your radiator is clear. That's basically how we do it, and I'll just clear on the inside. Oh, and if you notice, my temporary permanent fix to the inside screen, it's holding up good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to previous episode, Urban Fishing, from Laredo to Charlotte, North Carolina. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oofta. Nice and gentle. There's a lot of snow on there. There's still a little bit of snow inside the fins, but this will help. And it's not super cold today, so it might melt off. Check the coolant, check the oil, those look good. The last thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna top off the windshield washer tank with fluid, because with all of this sand, salt, and dirt getting kicked up by the water, I have a feeling we're gonna need all of the washer fluid that we can get today. How much washer fluid? All of it. It's gonna be a mess. Load check, yep, still there. Oh, and my refrigerator started working again, so that's good. So at the moment, I am facing east towards Mecca, you know, Lambeau Field. And that's the way we gotta go. Good news. The storm is moving east pretty quick. I can actually start to see the mountain range that we have to cross right now. That's a good sign. If you can see it, it's not snowing terrible. I checked on the Montana DOT website and traffic is moving. It's slow and chains are not required. That is a great sign. This is the last real pass that we have to get through. I think we're just gonna give her all the way and send it, and hopefully conditions don't get any worse. That storm though, I have a feeling we're gonna catch up to the back of it, and it's just gonna ruin our day. But as long as we can get through the mountains, that's the main thing. Let's go. We have a casualty. All right, we made it. We made it through the mountains. Yeah, Bozeman Pass was not bad at all. Now we're just gonna be running east and probably catching that storm. So we're coming into Livingston, Montana. That canyon right there is where the Yellowstone River comes out of Lake Yellowstone at Yellowstone National Park. And then it flows north, and we're gonna be basically running along the Yellowstone River now, all the way to Billings. Beach, North Dakota, right on the Montana border. So we're getting a little bit closer to home. Yeah, it's snowing pretty bad, and wipers are freezing up, windshield's freezing up. There's nothing you can do. So it's time for some dinner. And I think Sterling wants some dinner too, and probably a potty break. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, she's a big frozen pig. Check that out. So earlier, when we were in Montana, it was nice and warm. You know, it was above freezing, so nothing was sticking on the roads. Now she's getting icy out there.
I'm in danger.
The truck is completely ice covered, and it's not melting off like it was. So we could be in for an interesting night. We might be stopping at, a little bit early. Maybe Dickinson. If I can make it to Bismarck, that'd be even better. But where we're at now, we'll still get home tomorrow night. Hopefully.
Winter weather advisory remains in effect until 1 a.m. Central Daylight Time or midnight Mountain Daylight Time Friday. What? Snow. Additional snow accumulations between 1 and 3 inches. Where? Portions of Northwest, South Central, and Southwest North Dakota. When? Until 1 a.m. Central Daylight Time or midnight Mountain Daylight Time Friday. The following impacts are expected. Plan on slippery road conditions. Slow down and use caution while traveling. The regional weather forecast from your National Weather Service office in Bismarck. Accumulating snow will continue today and tonight, with up to around 4 to 5 inches of additional snow forecast through Friday morning for far southeastern North Dakota, far northeastern South Dakota, and portions of southern Minnesota.
Now we know. Wild bison. Well, we didn't get to see any bison in Yellowstone National Park, but we just saw wild bison in the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, so awesome. Well, the roads are getting a little better, but now we got another problem. Yeah, we got about 30 miles left to go to Bismarck. Think light. Good morning. We're up and at it, and we made it to the diesel pump. Whew. It was a little little sketch last night, whether we were gonna make it or not. It's just, you know, one thing after another, but you know what? That's trucking. That's just the way it goes. Doing a pre-trip and checking the load. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's about 16 degrees. Still getting some flurries, but radar shows that most of the stuff is moving on pretty quick or dissipating. So we got about 5 hours. I think 300 miles or so. Bismarck, North Dakota to Morris, Minnesota. So gonna get filled up, cleaned up, coffeed up, back on the road.
How dare you!
Minnesota, and we even got past Minnesota's welcoming committee. See that? Almost perfectly balanced. That's pretty good. All right. Well, we got about an hour and a half to get to our delivery, and then we got to try and find something home. I still have no idea how I'm going to get home yet. I guess we'll find out soon, won't we? You'll find out as soon as I know. We're there. Just got to back in. There. We're in the dock. All right. Let's go see what kind of mess we got outside. Get these beans off our back. All right. Come on. Hey. Over there. Over here. Come on. There you go. Look at this mess. You know, it could be worse. It could be below zero, and there could be no water dripping off of there. At least if there's water dripping off, it's not frozen solid. So, I've had it where it's below zero, and those are giant chunks of ice, and you cannot get them off. Oh, what a mess. There's one. Well, it's been a long week, and it's finally time to go home. I was hoping to go home with a load on the trailer, but apparently freight's a little slow right now. I would imagine that the snow is kind of holding things up. So, we're going to be on our way home. Thanks for coming along on this trucking adventure. Until next time, keep the shiny side up. Right, Sterling? Yeah. Say goodbye.